No. No, 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 no. No, come on! I hate technology. What is up, witches and wizards? It is Miranda. Welcome back to the Weekly Fangirl. I know this video is coming out late. My sincerest apologies. My radiator is hissing, so that's nice. I had a different video planned, and I had it planned for 3 weeks ago, but unfortunately we had some technical difficulties. Are you kidding me? However, I will not let that deter me. So as I'm sure you're all aware by now, Newt Scamander and his Fantastic Beasts have pulled us all headfirst back into the wizarding world of Jo Rowling. Can I call her Jo, or is that too familiar? I mean, her eminence is a little formal, so okay, just kidding. But I myself am no exception to the renewed Potter mania. As you can see, I'm rocking the Percival Graves haircut. Not that I support him, he was a terrible character. At least, you know, the guy that stole his face was a terrible character. By the way, on a side note, where is the real Percival Graves? Oh, I should probably mention, we are entering spoiler territory, so if anybody does not want spoilers from the Fantastic Beasts movie, I would suggest you click away now, go watch the movie, and then come back so that we can all talk about it. Anyway, as I wanted to talk about Harry Potter in my previously planned video, this week I wanted to do a Potter-themed video as well, but something a little bit simpler. So in my scramble to find a new video idea to replace the old one, I was scouring the depths of Tumblr looking for anything HP related, anything to do with Fantastic Beasts, and as one does, I came across a Potter-themed ask of 50 questions. I know, we're doubling down on the tag video territory here. There's no such thing as half-assing it in the Potter fandom, okay? I know there's 1,000,001 Potter-themed tags on YouTube already, but I wanted to make my own contribution this week, if you don't mind. So today we are going to be doing the 50, yes I said 50, question Harry Potter tag video. I need to come up with a better name for that, don't you think? Maybe the 50 who, what, when, and wheres of the wizarding world. I'll work on it. But in the meantime, let's get started. Let's start with an easy one. What's your Hogwarts house? I don't know if you noticed, but Hufflepuff. Your Patronus? I'm pretty sure Pottermore is rigged because my Patronus is a fucking hedgehog. A hedgehog, Joe. Really? Pumpkin juice, fire whiskey, or butterbeer? Is that even a question? Butterbeer, please. Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade? Again, this is easy. Diagon Alley, obviously. Your favorite shop to visit? My favorite shop would probably be either Honeydukes or Flourish and Blotts. Which Quidditch team is your favorite? Well, that's a tough one. Are we talking house teams or international teams? If I had to pick a house team, obviously Hufflepuff. If we're going international teams, then obviously the Holyhead Harpies from the UK. Top 5 ships. Oh god. Okay, so Drarry, Wolfstar for sure, Jilly, kind of. Is it Hinny or Jerry? Jerry! Can Jerry be the new Ginny Harry ship name? But yes, Jerry, perfect. And Dramoyne. Anybody who's ever seen the Star Kid musicals can relate. Your OTP? My OTP. Oh god, you're gonna make me pick. What's the ship name for Dean and Seamus again? Your no TP. Gradance. Gradance. I don't know who came up with that as a possible ship. I mean, like, I can see how it happened, but no. First of all, no, this is not supposed to be a kink-shaming channel or a ship-shaming channel. You can ship who you like, but it is the view of this channel in particular that Credence Barebone deserves better than Percival Graves, or in this case, Gellert Grindelwald. You know it, I know it, that boy needs a hug and a real man. Hogwarts, Beauxbatons, Durmstrang, or Ilvermorny? Hogwarts. Hoggy-wordy Hogwarts, clearly. I know Ilvermorny's in America, I know that's the school I should choose, but I am willing to commute across the pond if it means I get to be a Hufflepuff. Though I won't lie, Ilvermorny's house sorting system is a lot better than Hogwarts's. I'd rather be actually chosen by the house than a magical piece of felt determine my academic future. Just putting it out there, what kind of wand you got? My actual physical wand is a Rowan, 15 inches, no magical core because it's a fake, but my Pottermore wand, which is much more realistic, is a Sycamore at 12.5 inches with a phoenix tail feather core. Classic question, owl, cat, or toad? Owls I think would be really good as far as like mail, but let's be honest, I never get mail, so we're gonna go with a cat. They're easy. Besides, who besides Neville wants a toad? I mean, I know, Neville is awesome. I love Neville, but dude, you went with a toad? Really? Who's the character in the Potterverse that you most identify with? Given that Fantastic Beasts has just come out, I really do have to say Newt. He's a Hufflepuff, he's loyal to his friends, and he's awkward and clumsy as all hell. Who's the character that you hate? For no good reason. Damn it. For no good reason, maybe Trelawney? I don't know. If you could, who's the one character you'd bring back from the dead? Okay, this one is legitimately hard because there's a million of them, but if I had to go off the top of my head, I would probably say Fred because George needs his other half back. I understand that everybody wants me to say Dobby, and I know of all of the people in all of the books that ever died, Dobby was the only one that made me openly sob, but honestly, Fred didn't have to die! Out of all the characters in the Potterverse, which one do you most just want to be happy? Credence! Credence Barebone, my baby boy! Although there is hope on that front because Ezra Miller has been confirmed for the Fantastic Beasts sequel, which means our boy is alive! Ooh, this is a tricky one. What does your Amortentia smell like? For all of you muggles and no-mages out there, by the way, Amortentia is the most powerful love potion in the world and smells different to each individual person. Ooh, God. I think peppermint, lilac, and wood smoke. Like, you know when people have bonfires and the smell of the smoke is just... By wizarding education standards, what's your favorite class? My favorite class would either be History of Magic or Potions. Your least favorite class? Least favorite class would probably be Arithmancy because I feel like that's the wizard equivalent of math and I suck at math. Everybody's got one. Who's your favorite professor? Oh god, Flitwick. Probably Flitwick. Or no, Professor Sprout. I changed my mind. Professor Sprout. Centaurs, mermaids, or ghosts? Ghosts. I feel like they have unfinished business, they probably have a lot of stories to tell, and they don't ever get a chance to tell them because students literally walk right through them. Chocolate frogs or Bertie Bott's every flavor beans? The beans are a gamble. I'm going with the frogs. Zonkos or Weasley Wizarding Wheezes? Is this even a question? Weasley Wizarding Wheezes. Come on. Leaky Cauldron or Three Broomsticks? I think the Three Broomsticks. The Leaky Cauldron, Who's the pair that you low-key ship? Probably Luna and Harry, Pansy and Hermione, and maybe Draco and Ron. Is that a thing? Oh, and Filch and Mrs. Norris. There's this whole headcanon that Mrs. Norris was actually a failed transfiguration from a woman back to a cat. Like she was an animagus and she freaked out and she could never get back to her human form, and it's actually a really sad story and he keeps her around as a cat because... Time for a throwback. Who's your favorite Marauder? Remus! And I miss Remus! Can I change my answer of who to bring back from the dead from Fred to Remus? Teddy needs a father! Night bus or brooms? The night bus. I know, Ernie is a terrible driver. But with a broom, you run the risk of getting bugs in your teeth, freezing to your broom handle at high speeds because the winds are so cold, and there's always the possibility that you just end up stranded over water for like days at a time if you're trying to do a transatlantic flight. So, the night bus. There's beds and like cocoa, and they give you complimentary toothbrushes. Thestrals or unicorns? Thestrals. I feel like I don't want to bother the unicorns. They're very shy creatures. They're better around women than they are around men. No offense, guys. But I feel like the unicorns need to be left well enough alone. They're very pure, innocent creatures. And while the Thestrals are as well, I feel like they also are very underappreciated, and people are so often afraid of them. Also, they can fly. So, yeah. Unicorns, sorry. Although if anybody shows this video to Superwoman, I gotta say, unicorns are still cool. We ain't got no beef. Unicorns are cool. Your go-to spell. My go-to spell would probably be Reparo because I am constantly breaking things. Or Accio because I can never find my glasses or my phone or my keys. Are you a Quidditch player or a spectator? And if a Quidditch player, what's your position? Again, I'm super clumsy and I also don't have the hand-eye coordination to be a keeper, a seeker, or a chaser, so I feel like beater would be my best bet. But again, I feel like I might accidentally like knock one of the bludgers way too close to one of my teammates, or drop my bat, or just fall off my broom. I think maybe being a spectator is the better route for me. Your favorite Potterverse friendship? Hands down, Dean and Seamus. I know I said I shipped them, but I also think that they're just great friends too. OTP or BroTP, either one works. If you could pick an animagus form, what would it be? I feel like I would probably be either a bird or a cat. I would love to be able to fly. I feel like I'd finally be able to tell everybody to just piss off with like a flick of my tail or like a stare as a cat. Everybody thinks about it. What would be your Wizarding World job? I've actually thought about this a lot, and I feel like I would be a good bookkeeper at Flourish and Blots. If you could fly on a broom, what type would you have? There's not a lot of literature about the brooms online, so I actually had to consult Quidditch Through the Ages for this one, and I think after careful consideration that I would be on one of the newer models of a clean sweep, but I feel like it wouldn't be like this year's model, so it wouldn't be like a clean sweep 90. I don't have enough money for that. Like everybody's first car is like a shitty car. My first broom would be like a clean sweep 80. I have a little bit of trouble the higher you go, but it's still good around corners, it's still good on speed, it's not about to warp, so I think, yeah, a clean sweep 80. You're going to the Yule Ball. Who's your ideal date? My dream Yule Ball date would probably be Padma Patel. because I feel like she deserved way better than Ron. Wizarding chess or gobstones? Wizard's chess for 2 reasons. Number 1, the pieces come alive, and number 2, when you lose, they don't squirt you with foul-smelling liquid. We kind of covered this earlier, but if you're a cat person or an owl person, do you pick Crookshanks or Pigwidgeon? I think Crookshanks, because Crookshanks had a really bad rap in Prisoner of Azkaban. Plus, Pigwidgeon is, I mean, for as cute as he is, he's way too ADHD for me. I'm ADHD enough without also having an ADHD pygmy owl who's flying around the ceiling lights like a maniac. Charms expert or potions expert? I think we covered this earlier, but potions expert. I think I'd actually be pretty good at it. It's just following a recipe. How hard can it be? I can feel Snape judging me from the afterlife. Let it go, Severus! Where's your favorite house common room? Our common room is obviously the Hufflepuff common room. Again, it's near the kitchens, it's nice and homey, it's like the walls are like a sunny yellow, there's potted plants everywhere. Hufflepuff for the win. You subscribe to the Quibbler or the Daily Prophet? I think I'd actually be subscribed to both. I think like it's like in the real world. You get like what the media is saying from the Prophet and you get the real news from the Quibbler. I like how in the real world you have like CNN and the Times and things like that from the Prophet, and then from the Quibbler you have like your Onion, your Daily Show, your Last Week Tonight. You know what I mean? Yeah, both. Have a well-rounded news media diet, kids. Favorite person from the Golden Trio? Favorite of the trio is obviously Hermione. Fantastic Beasts or Cursed Child? I gotta say Beasts. I mean, I never got past the first act of Cursed Child when I read it, and that's part of the reason why it's not on FanGirl Reads, is because I couldn't get into it. A lot of people were right. It felt fanfiction-y from the get-go. I loved Scorpius. Scorpius is adorable. And I feel like Albus is believable in that, you know, like he's living up to Harry's legacy and like trying to find where he fits in that really, really huge shadow in the wizarding world. But Fantastic Beasts was actually written by Joe, as opposed to a couple guys who got Joe's approval for the stage show, so Beasts, definitely Beasts. You're confronted with the Hollows. Do you pick the cloak, the wand, or the stone? I know I've been waving a wand around this whole time, but I'm not that power hungry. The cloak. Out of the unsung heroes, who's your favorite minor character? My favorite minor character would be one of the ones that we never saw in the movies, and that would be Peeves. I miss you, Peeves. Who's your Dumbledore? Richard Harris or Michael Gambon? Oh my god, the Dumbledore question. You're actually making me answer the Dumbledore question. This is, I mean, everybody says it, and I'm just gonna say it. I love Michael Gambon, and I think for the last couple films, he was a perfect fit for Dumbledore, but Richard Harris was the definitive Dumbledore. I just remember seeing Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, yes, Sorcerer's Stone, we're in America, for the first time on video, and the second he came out onto the screen, I knew it. Nobody had to tell me who that was. That was Dumbledore. I saw it from the tip of his hat to the toe of his boots. Richard Harris was Dumbledore, and he always will be. If you could, would you apparate? If I could apparate, I absolutely would, but I wouldn't do it over long distances. It's risky, there's always the chance of splinching, you gotta be careful. So, like, if I was going, like, around the corner to the store, or, like, I was late to work, then yeah, of course I'm gonna apparate, duh. It's teleporting, who wouldn't? Oh, wizard god. What's your favorite book? My favorite book would probably be Goblet of Fire. And fun story, I'd actually gone through 3 copies of the Goblet of Fire because I kept splitting the paperback spine in half from reading it so often. Your favorite movie? Prisoner of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban was great. The score, oh my god, the score, you guys. Plus Ron was just in constant turmoil for that whole year. That poor boy. Like, Hermione kept popping up everywhere out of nowhere. He had nightmares about spiders, had his leg broken by a dog, he got whipped around by a tree. It was a mess. Poor Ron. Who would be your magical best friend? My BFF would probably be either Luna or Ginny. Book Ginny, by the way, not movie Ginny. Bonnie Wright, I'm sure, is a lovely person and probably a really great actress, but for some reason, the movies totally fucked Ginny up, and I know that's the general consensus, but I agree. I totally agree. Book Ginny, on the other hand, was a badass, and she went on to captain the Hollyhead Harpies, so yeah, Ginny for the win. And in the spirit of Fantastic Beasts, what's your favorite creature? This one's a lot harder than it sounds. I know everybody's on about the Niffler lately, but can we just be real? The Niffler is adorable, yes, but that little fucker would tear your house apart looking for anything shiny. I mean, we saw the mayhem he wreaked in the jewelry store, in the bank, all over the goddamn place. No to the Niffler. I'm sorry, it's cute, but I don't want one in my house because I myself have an addiction to shiny things, so no to the Niffler. I think my favorite creature would actually be a specific species of creature, namely the dragons. Mostly because dragons are some of the most magically entrenched creatures in lore all over the world, and they're just really cool. And my favorite species of dragon, by the way, would probably be either the Antipodean Opal Eye or the Swedish short snout, because they're both gorgeous. That's it, Wizards and Witches. That was the 50-question Wizarding World Ask as created by Pygmy Puffs on Tumblr. Thank you so much for that. I know I probably missed a million Potter-themed questions, so if you have any of your own, please leave them in the comments below, and I might make a part 2 to this one day. I didn't want to do any kind of a Fantastic Beasts review or anything this week. I just wanted something fun, something light, something simple. I think that's it from me for this week, you guys. And in case you've been obliviated, let me remind you that if you liked this video, you can give it a thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment, let me know if you have any of your own Potter-themed asks. Subscribe if you want to see more magical videos. I make new ones every Sunday, usually. As always, I have been Miranda. This has been the Weekly Fangirl. I thank you guys so much for watching, and if you'll excuse me, I think I'm gonna go see Fantastic Beasts again. I'll see you next week, Potterheads. Knox.